My name is Diana Reyes, 38 years old, operations manager at a mid-sized logistics firm. Numbers calm me. They behave when people don't. I used to think stability was the most underrated luxury. Then I met a man who called it boring. His name was Victor Cole, 29, self-proclaimed personal brand architect. I met him at a networking event 2 years ago, the kind where everyone wears ambition like perfume. He was magnetic, confident, full of grand talk about manifestation and energy alignment. I thought it was harmlessly eccentric. When he said he admired my focus and discipline, I felt seen. Within months, he became a constant in my life. Texts every morning, dinners filled with plans, late-night voice notes about building something together. He said I grounded him. I said he reminded me to breathe. 6 months later, he moved into my condo. He called it our creative space. I didn't realize creative meant turning every corner into a photo set. At first, it was flattering. My marble kitchen counter became the backdrop of his success lifestyle reels. He'd make smoothies, light a candle, and talk about abundance to his phone camera while I left for work at 7:30. My colleagues started joking about how photogenic my apartment looked. I smiled. I told myself it was love, that relationships meant sharing your world. By our second year, he had 40,000 followers and a wardrobe full of white linen. He called himself a men's alignment coach. I called it unemployed with a ring light. Still, I proposed. Not with fireworks or hashtags, just a quiet dinner, a bottle of red, and a simple, "Will you keep growing with me?" He said, "Yes," cried filmed, the moment for his story. "When she sees your vision," the caption read. For a while it worked, until the night everything cracked. It was a Friday dinner with his influencer friends, a table full of smiles and soft threats. One of them, a crypto bro in a blazer without a shirt, asked about our wedding. Victor swirled his wine and said, "Honestly, I'm reevaluating everything." The table hushed. I felt my pulse in my throat. "What do you mean?" He smiled like a man in an interview. "I just think Diana's not really wife material. She's great, but she doesn't provide the way a high-value woman should." The word provide hung in the air like a slap. He leaned back. "I mean, I can't build my empire if I'm always constrained by budgets. A real partnership is abundance. Flow." I stared at him. He was drinking the wine I bought, wearing the watch I paid for in the restaurant I booked. One of his friends, a woman with diamond nails, nodded. "Yeah, V, you deserve someone who matches your vibe." He smiled at her like he'd just been validated by the universe. My fork clinked against the plate. I forced a breath and asked softly, "So, what kind of woman is wife material?" He shrugged. "Someone who doesn't talk about price tags, who understands vision, who knows how to invest in her man." I nodded once. "You're right." His smile widened. "See growth." I sipped my wine. "You're absolutely right." He didn't notice my tone change, but everyone else did. When I got home, he went straight to his office. My guest room turned content hub. I sat on the couch, still in my heels, watching his reflection on the dark TV screen. He was rehearsing for a video, saying the same words he'd said at dinner. "Sometimes you outgrow people who don't believe in your potential." I turned off the lamp. The room went black, except for the glow of his ring light. For the first time, I saw him clearly. Not as the man I loved, but as a brand I'd been financing. That night, I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I opened my laptop and pulled up every account, every bill, every lease, all under my name. He'd called me small-minded. He had no idea how wide my mind could open when pushed. The condo, the car lease, the credit cards, the utilities, the phone plan. Every foundation of his high-value life rested quietly under Diana Reyes. My fingers hovered over the keyboard as the words from dinner replayed in my head. Not wife material. Provide properly. I almost laughed. By morning, sunlight poured into the kitchen, illuminating his untouched smoothie blender, still full of yesterday's CEO fuel. I placed my coffee beside it and smiled at my reflection in the glass. I didn't feel broken, just done. While he posted his morning gratitude story from the balcony, I opened my banking app and began. Click. Card 1 deactivate. Click. Card 2 cancel. Click. Lease documents open. He looked peaceful outside, hands stretched toward the rising sun like a preacher of prosperity. I whispered to myself, enjoy it while it lasts. Because by the time that light faded, so would everything built on my name. That night, he kissed my cheek before bed. You're quiet lately. Energy off. Just recalibrating, I said. He smiled, kissed my forehead. That's my girl. I watched him fall asleep. He didn't notice the packed box under the bed labeled mine. He didn't see the folder on my laptop titled Exit Plan. He didn't realize that when I said, you're right, I was already gone. Morning light crept across the bedroom wall, landing on Victor's face. He looked peaceful, dreaming maybe about his next collaboration. I watched him for a moment, the rise and fall of his chest, the faint snores that once made me smile. Now they sounded like entitlement breathing. I slipped out of bed quietly. The air felt different, lighter, like the moment before a storm when you realize you're not afraid of the thunder anymore. By 8 a.m., Victor was gone off to his strategy brunch with friends translation content meeting with people who lived off hashtags. That gave me 4 uninterrupted hours. Laptop open, coffee ready, calm heartbeat. I started with the easiest thing, the car lease. Technically my car. He'd chosen, it's sure, a sleek white SUV that fit his aesthetic, but the lease, the payments, the insurance were all in my name. I called the dealership. Return scheduled for Monday, the man said. Perfect, I replied. My voice didn't even shake. Next, the credit cards. 2 supplementary cards linked to my main account, Victor's business expenses. I scrolled through months of statements, $11 lattes, brand name candles, networking dinners. Click, cancel. He'd get an error message the next time he tried to buy an energy aura cleanse. Then the utilities, the gym membership, the phone plan. All his luxuries, all my bills. Each call, each click was a quiet undoing of his empire. A dismantling, not out of rage, out of precision. By noon, the condo was silent except for the hum of the refrigerator. It was the first time it felt like mine again. At 1 p.m. I sent the message, me. Since our engagement is off, we need to talk about living arrangements. You'll need to find a new place within 30 days. I'll help you pack if needed. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. Victor, what are you kidding me? You can't just evict me, Diana. This is my home. Me, the mortgage is in my name. You've never paid rent. Victor, I contributed groceries, decor, my time helping your energy flow. Me, groceries are not rent. Energy doesn't pay utilities. Victor, wow. So this is who you are. Cold, ungrateful. After everything I did for you. Me. You mean the photo shoots, the captions about manifesting abundance while using my Wi-Fi. Victor, you're being petty. People will see the real you soon. I typed back. Me, I hope they do. And then I set the phone face down. When he came home, I was at the dining table, surrounded by folders, financial statements, contracts, receipts. He looked at them like I'd built an altar to his ego. What's all this? He demanded. Accountability, I said. He laughed nervously. Babe, come on, you're overreacting. That dinner got to you. I didn't mean it literally. Good, I said, flipping a document closed. Then this shouldn't bother you. He frowned. What's this? Car lease return form. It's in my name. Wait, what? You're returning the car. Are you insane? That's my brand vehicle. No, I corrected. It's my vehicle. Your brand will need to learn the bus schedule. He slammed his hand on the table. You're making a mistake, Diana. You'll regret humiliating me like this. I looked up slowly, voice steady. You humiliated yourself the moment you thought I'd tolerate disrespect. I'm not punishing you, Victor. I'm simply stopping the sponsorship. His nostrils flared. You think you can control me with money? I stood. No, I just realized I don't have to keep financing your fantasy. He stared at me, anger, disbelief, then a flicker of something else. Fear. You'll regret this, he muttered again. I smiled faintly. I already did. That night, he packed a duffel bag, dramatically pacing the living room while live streaming about toxic women who fear masculine energy. I sat on the couch, sipping tea, watching the reflection of his phone light on the window. He didn't even notice me there, too busy performing heartbreak for strangers. When he finished, he turned toward me. Happy now, I hope your little revenge post gets you likes. I said nothing, just stood and walked to the balcony. Diana, he shouted, say something. I turned calm as the night. You said I wasn't wife material. You were right. I'm not your wife material. But you were never partner material either. He froze, lips trembling, eyes, darting as if looking for a camera to save him. There's no audience here, Victor, I said softly. Just the truth. He grabbed his keys and stormed out, slamming the door hard enough to rattle the frame. Silence followed, deep, absolute cleansing. I took a long breath, exhaling everything, the noise, the pretending, the exhaustion of living as a prop in someone else's narrative. By midnight, I had the condo to myself. I turned off the ring lights. The space felt human again. I walked to the mirror. My reflection looked unfamiliar, lighter, a little sad, but free. I whispered to her, you didn't destroy him. You just stopped pretending he was real. Somewhere in the distance, thunder rolled, soft warning inevitable. It wasn't fear this time, it was peace. It took less than a week for Victor's online empire to wobble. 2 for it to crumble. When people build their identity out of borrowed things, silence becomes their loudest punishment. The first morning without him felt like waking up in a movie after the power goes out. Quiet. Real. No blender screaming at 6 a.m. for his superfood smoothie. No tripod blocking the kitchen counter. No smell of synthetic candles labeled Prosperity Aura. I made coffee in peace for the first time in months. The mug didn't have an inspirational quote on it, just white porcelain. Honest. By noon, my phone buzzed. Group chat brunch crew. Victor plus friends. Natalie. Diana girl, you okay? Victor just posted something about escaping a controlling partner. Said he's starting over. Drew. He's fine. Already filming new content. Had healing era. I didn't respond, but I checked his page. Victor had posted a black and white photo of himself staring at the skyline. Caption. Sometimes strength is walking away from those who fear your light. 3 fire emojis, 5 heart comments, 200 confused followers. By the weekend, his story changed. Now I was the villain in his narrative. He posted raw confessions, saying he'd been trapped in a toxic relationship where his creativity was stifled by financial manipulation. He used words like abuse and control, careful, sharp words that draw sympathy and engagement. The comments filled fast. Stay strong, King. Cut off those low-vibration women. You deserve peace. Peace. The same word he'd used to justify spending my savings on brand investments. I closed the app. Let him talk. Because the truth had better timing than I ever could. 2 days later, someone messaged me privately. Hey, are you okay? His story doesn't match the receipts. Receipts. Literal screenshots. Lisa's bank transactions. His messages bragging about me paying for his business retreats. People remembered. The internet never forgets. One girl even posted a comment under his video. Didn't your ex buy that condo you filmed in? He deleted it, but others noticed. Then the thread began. Someone compiled side-by-side screenshots of his old posts, manifesting my dream home. Independent success. Same condo background. Same furniture. My home. The caption read, "So the abundance was sponsored." It went viral overnight. By Monday, Victor went live to address the rumors. I didn't watch it, but I heard about it. He blamed haters, said people were trying to tear down his growth. But someone clipped a part where he slipped. I don't owe anyone proof. It was our condo. She let me live there because she loved me. She let me. That sentence cracked the illusion wide open. Thousands of followers heard the truth hiding between the words. Meanwhile, I was busy living quietly. I started working out again, cooking meals that didn't need to be aesthetic. The condo changed. I removed the neon signs and the fake plants he'd insisted on. Hung a single painting from my mother instead. It wasn't glamorous. It was mine. At night, I'd light a single candle unscented and scroll through the noise. His name trended for the wrong reasons. Victor Cole exposed. Sponsored abundance. Manifesting. On credit. The memes were merciless. People edited clips of him preaching about financial freedom over screenshots of luxury items he'd tagged that were ironically in my name. A part of me wanted to laugh. Another part didn't, because I'd once loved him. Truly. And watching someone you loved burn by their own spark, it doesn't feel like victory. It feels like relief with a scar. Then came his GoFundMe. Title: Helping a Man Rebuild After Emotional Abuse. He claimed he'd been cut off by a manipulative ex who destroyed his business. He raised $180 before someone posted a thread. Didn't this man claim to make 6 figures a year last month? The donation stopped. Then the campaign vanished. The comments that followed were brutal. So you manifested homelessness, bro's alignment shifted into accountability. You weren't financially abused, you were financially adopted. I didn't celebrate. I just sat there reading the words slowly, like tasting justice that came without effort. That evening, my phone rang. Unknown number. I knew that voice immediately. Diana, please, can we talk about what I said? I just need you to explain that it wasn't like that. You're logical. They'll believe you. Believe me, I asked softly, or believe you again? He sighed, shaky. This isn't who I am. I lost control of the story. That's the thing, Victor. You never had control. You only had attention. Silence. Then a whisper. You're really enjoying this, aren't you? No, I said, looking around the quiet room that finally belonged to me again. I'm just done participating. I ended the call. That night, as I watered the plants on the balcony, the city lights reflected on the glass door, and for a second I saw my own face overlapping his old ring light reflection. Same frame, different story. And somewhere out there, his world was still collapsing one follower at a time. Not because I destroyed him, Because he built himself on fiction. And fiction always falls when the audience stops clapping. By the third week, Victor's digital empire wasn't just cracking, it was rotting in real time. His followers had turned skeptics, his sponsors had ghosted him, and his so-called Brotherhood of Abundance group chats were leaking screenshots faster than he could delete them. But the irony, he still thought he could talk his way out. He went live again on a Tuesday night. I didn't tune in, but my coworkers did. The next morning, they sent me the link. Diana, one of them, whispered, half amused, half pitying. He's saying he's the victim of financial sabotage. He's calling you a corporate narcissist. I opened the clip. There he was sitting in front of a beige wall that looked suspiciously like a borrowed apartment. His tone, dramatic eyes glassy. I gave my heart and my talent to someone who couldn't handle a real man. She cut me off because she feared my growth. But I forgive her. I'm healing. Healing. That word again. It's amazing how people weaponize soft language to hide hard truths. By Friday, I received a text from Patricia, his mother. Diana, I don't understand what happened. Victor said you threw him out with nothing. He's been depressed staying here with us. I read the message twice before replying. Patricia, he ended the engagement. I gave him a month's notice. I just stopped paying for things that were never mine to pay for. She responded almost immediately. He told me he supported you while you built your career. I stared at the words, my stomach tightening. The lies were mutating. I didn't reply. Some truths don't need defending. They just need time to outlive the noise. That weekend, a TikTok popped up on my feed, the fall of Victor Cole. Someone had compiled his motivational clips side by side, every contradiction exposed. One video of him saying, I own my dream condo, spliced next to his recent live where he said, she took everything from me. Then him bragging about financial freedom, followed by a clip of his GoFundMe. The video hit 2 million views in 2 days. The comments were savage. Manifested eviction. From CEO to CULA. Guess he's aligning with unemployment now. Victor went silent for a few days. I thought maybe finally he was learning. But then came the email. Subject, we need to talk. Body, I'm sorry for what I said that night. You know I didn't mean it. You made me better, Diana. I just lost my way. Maybe we could rebuild, collaborate again. People still ask about us. We could turn this into a redemption story, for both of us. I read it 3 times. The audacity made me laugh, a small, quiet laugh, the kind that doesn't reach your eyes. He wasn't sorry, he was rebranding. The next day I went for lunch with my friend Leah, someone who'd seen the relationship up close. She stirred her iced tea and said, you know I used to envy you two. He made everything look so perfect online. It wasn't perfect, I said. It was polished. There's a difference. Do you ever miss him? I thought about it. The charm, the morning texts, the way he'd make me feel like I was part of something bigger. Then I remembered the exhaustion, the late-night arguments about money disguised as vision talks, the guilt-tripping, the constant performance. No, I said quietly. I miss who I thought he was. That's all. Leah nodded. You handled it better than most would have. I smiled faintly. I didn't handle it. I just stopped helping him hide. A week later, another message came, this time from his assistant, if you could call her that. Victor is speaking at a self-growth summit about resilience and overcoming betrayal. He'd love if you could provide a statement to clarify the timeline. I stared at the email for a full minute, then typed one line in reply. No statement needed. The truth speaks for itself. Then I hit delete, not just the email, but his contact too, for good. But peace has a strange way of testing you. The next morning, as I was getting ready for work, I saw a notification. Victor tagged you in a post. I froze. Against my better judgment, I opened it. A photo of him in a suit, hands clasped like a monk, caption. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about freeing yourself. Even those who wronged you can be your greatest teachers. He'd tagged me as the lesson. I stared at the screen, heartbeat calm. He was still trying to control the narrative, still performing for applause that wasn't coming. I didn't comment, didn't untag, didn't even report it. Instead, I just whispered to myself, let the audience see what he calls enlightenment. Because every spotlight eventually burns the one who refuses to step out of it. That night, I lit a candle and opened the window. The city buzzed below, unaware of the small victory happening in my quiet apartment. It wasn't revenge. It wasn't satisfaction. It was freedom, the kind that doesn't need proof likes or validation. And in that silence, I realized something I wasn't healing from him. I was remembering myself. 2 months passed. Enough time for the noise to die down, for the world to find its next scandal. Enough time for me to remember what silence sounds like when it isn't waiting for an apology. Victor's name still popped up here and there, mostly in the corners of the internet, where failed influencers go to rebrand. He'd gone from lifestyle coach to authenticity mentor, from promoting abundance seminars to selling $39 truth journaling guides. But the follower count told the real story. 45,000, down to barely 12,000. Engagement lower than the moral ground he once stood on. Every post sounded desperate. Starting over is strength. Sometimes losing everything is gaining clarity. Sometimes I almost felt sorry for him. Almost. One afternoon, I got a call from Patricia again. Her voice was gentler this time, less defensive. Diana, I know you don't owe him anything, but he's not doing well. He doesn't leave the house. Barely eats. Keeps saying he'll fix everything if you just talk to him. I listened silent. Then asked, did he ever apologize to you? To me, she said, surprised. For lying, for manipulating your sympathy. She sighed, no, but he's my son. I know, I said softly, and he's my lesson. There wasn't anger in my tone, just truth, the kind that no longer needed sharpening. That night I opened LinkedIn to check on a supplier contact and froze. Notification, Victor Cole viewed your profile. Twice. An hour later, another notification. Victor Cole has sent you a connection request with a message. Would love to discuss potential collaboration opportunities. I'm building a new platform about authenticity. Think it aligns with your expertise. I read it 3 times. A part of me wanted to laugh. Another part wanted to cry for the sheer audacity of self-delusion. Instead, I just clicked ignore. He'd said once that he wanted to build an empire. I suppose he did. It just turned out to be one made of sand. These days, I wake up before sunrise, no ring light, no hashtags, no pretending. Just me, a quiet home, and the peace of paying only for my own dreams. Sometimes I cook breakfast with the same pan he used for his CEO brunches. The pan still has scratches from when he dropped it mid-reel. I like those scratches. Now they're proof that things can survive use and still work perfectly fine. I even started dating again, someone named Alan, a teacher. He doesn't talk about energy alignment. He talks about lesson plans, books, and how much he loves his students. When he came over for the first time, he looked around the apartment and said, feels peaceful here. I smiled. It didn't always. He didn't ask for details. He didn't need to. Peace explains itself. Every so often, a friend sends me updates from Victor's new ventures. A podcast called Real Talk with V. 20 downloads per episode. Comments turned off. A YouTube channel titled From Pain to Purpose. 6 subscribers. 3 are bots. And then one night, the cherry on top, someone forwarded me a TikTok documentary, The Rise and Fall of Victor Cole, the man who manifested too much. It had millions of views, clips of his old arrogance cut with new desperation. Comments were relentless. From abundance to allowance. He didn't lose her, he lost her wallet. I didn't watch the whole thing. I just smiled and closed the app. Because this wasn't revenge, it was gravity. Everything he built on lies was bound to collapse. I just stepped aside before it did. Sometimes people message me asking how I stayed so calm. Truth is, I didn't. I broke down many nights. I questioned everything. But there's power in stillness, in letting truth do what time always does, reveal what can't stay hidden. Victor once told me, you're too calm when things fall apart. I think about that sometimes. He was right, because calm isn't weakness. It's clarity, dressed in silence. Last week, I redecorated the living room, took down the last of his framed quotes, hustle, manifest, repeat, replaced it with a print I found at a local art market. It simply reads, peace doesn't perform. I looked at it for a long time. Then I turned off the lights, sat on the couch, and let the quiet wrap around me like a promise kept. No followers, no performance, no illusion. Just truth, patience, steady, and mine again.